The youngest in the seniors division. She's turning 13 this past March. She's also the smallest at 4 feet 4 inches, weighing only 60 pounds.
And Shannon may be small, but she does some really big tricks, and especially on this event. Her difficulty level equals or exceeds that of any gymnast in the competition.
Shannon's a straight-A student. At her size, definitely an asset in gymnastics. But it can be tough on her at the dinner table. For her parents, she's a telephone book to help her out.
And she doesn't look like she eats too much when she's there. Some aerial walkover. Now Shannon's preparing for a tumbling combination. Back handspring to 2 layouts. The same thing we saw from Kim Zmeskal. Right on.
It would be quite an accomplishment. Such a young lady to pick up a medal in the finals on the balance beam.
She did not have one break in that routine. That was the best I've ever seen her do. Now here's her big dismount, a full twisting double back. There it is. Oh, and that is a real shame for Shannon.
It ruins what was otherwise almost a flawless performance.
She did a great job on the beam, but you have to admire her and her coach, Steve Nuno, for even attempting that dismount. She's the only American ever to compete this skill. We've seen many gymnasts do a double back off beam. Shannon does a full twist into the double back. And she just overturns it.
Well, you can see how upset she is. At times we forget how young some of these competitors are. A 9-2 for Shannon Miller on the balance beam. We move over to the 5th rotation for the men. And it's Bill Roth, one of the most explosive performers in the competition. His first vault, a 9-6 as he gets ready for his second.
Bill is a full blast competitor, and we certainly will see him explode here. He'll be doing a 1.5 twisting laid out Sukahara. A big push. Oh, and a huge step on the landing. Completely off balance there.
Now you can see one of the reasons why he had problems with the landing. He had injured earlier his left knee. You can tell it's still bothering him.
Yeah, he's really had quite a few problems. It's been pretty well banged up. And let's watch here. He lands a little bit awkward. There's excellent repulsion off the horse. But you see that knee maybe buckle just a little bit. And when it's already a little bit sore, a landing like that, whether you land perfect or not, is going to cause some trauma.
His second vault, a 9.65. Averaging out to 9.625. Bill Roth from Temple University. Back to the balance beam in the women's division. Betty Aquino, without a doubt, one of the biggest surprises over the weekend.
You know, Betty finished second in the all-around. That was such a surprise. She was a relative unknown coming into this competition. Now, she was strong on all 4 events, but this event really showcases her long, lean body line. There's her tumbling combination. 2 layouts, beautifully done.
So far, so good for Betty Aquino, and she needs it to be almost perfect. She needs to top a 9.8 by Zmeskal to take first place on the balance beam.
Look at that. Most of the gymnasts have their difficulty in the tumbling elements. That was a double turn on the beam. A dance element worth a D level.
And Betty Aquino has plenty of dance experience. She competed nationally in tap dance competitions with her brother Edward. Betty was born in Africa, moved to Romania, and came to the United States at the age of 2.
Here's her dismount, 2 back handsprings to a double back. That is an extremely difficult combination.
Pretty tough to top a performance like that. There's her coach, Marta Caroli, who actually coaches the young ladies on the balance beam.
And Marta should be very proud of her gymnast performance on this event.
So Betty Aquino with with a spectacular performance.
Here's a show of flexibility. Look at that. 180-degree split and her back bent at a right angle. Right into a strength move.
She needs better than a 9.8 to take the gold and top her teammate.
Here's her dismount. 2 back handsprings into a double back. This combination is worth 2/10 bonus points. It's actually valued the same as Shannon Miller's dismount.
She nailed the dismount as she waits for the results. Needs to beat the 9.8. Did she? Agonizing. 9.825, and Betty Aquino has taken the gold in the balance beam. And what a celebration it is for the entire Caroli crew. As they swept the balance beam, Betty Aquino taking the gold away from her teammate. Right at her side, Kim Zmeskal. And it gives us an opportunity to take a look at the final standings on the balance beam. A clean sweep for Caroli's gym in Houston, Texas. Aquino, Zmeskal, and Stokes. And the final of the men's vault, Ringnahl taking the gold as he's followed by Bill Roth and the 17-year-old Kerry Houston. We'll be right back to Denver.
This is Don Criqui back at NBC Sports Update in New York. There's much more gymnastics ahead today. And coming up, Gail Gardner